What's going on? I'm Anastasio Dalde. This is SDG Labs. I'm the world's best dad, hands down. I've got a shirt that says so. The x-intercept is a point on your graph where the function crosses the x-axis. Mark the x-intercept on the graph and label it A. Which coordinate is the x-intercept? Which coordinate of the x-intercept is 0? Oh, okay. So if we have a graph, right? And we have some kind of, this is not a graph, this is a coordinate system, x and y. And we have some kind of line that goes like this. That's a terrible arrow, I'm sorry. There we go. It just goes on forever and ever that way. The x-intercept is where the thing crosses the x-axis. So I guess the question, what this question is asking is, what is the coordinates of that point right there? Well, they told me to label it A, and it's some number totally, right? Because I'm asking you for an ordered pair. What are the two numbers that are associated with that point right there? Well, this is going to be some number, and by the looks of this graph, it's some positive number. I don't know what it is, 3, 5. I don't really care. Actually, I do care because that would be what the x-intercept is. But the point that I'm trying to make here is that, what is this second number? I'm going to pause. I'm going to just wait and hang out here so you guys kind of think about it. What does that second number have to be? That second number describes the y value. Exactly, there we go. That second number describes the y value, which is 0, because it's on this line. If it's on this line, that means it doesn't have a height, so it's 0. Similarly, for the y-intercept. The y-intercept is where it crosses, it intercepts the y-axis. If that's the case, then the coordinates for that point will be something, comma something. That second number will be some number. I don't know what it is. Whatever it is, it's the y-intercept. In fact, we usually call it B. Why is it B? I don't know. That's just the way it is. All right. But I know the first number, it's 0. Because that first number is the x-coordinate, and the x-coordinate of this point right here, any point on this line, is 0. The y-coordinate could be something different depending on where that point is. So I think that that's really the most important part that I want you to remember. The x-intercept has y equal to 0. And the x-intercept, or the y-intercept, I'll just do that, has x equal to 0. So what is the x-intercept? What is the x-intercept? Well, it's this point right here. And I know for a fact that this point right here has the coordinates some number, comma 0. That number looks like it's about 3. In fact, I can even check that. There's a good way to check that, and I'll show you guys how to do it. In fact, maybe I might do it. It might be going ahead of schedule, but I don't think it's that bad. The y-intercept looks like right here, so that would be 0, comma some number, and that number looks like it's 9. It looks like it goes up to 9. There we go. I can check that as well. This is maybe beyond what the worksheet is asking you to do, but if you think about it, in order to find the y-intercept, I know that the x is equal to 0. So I can turn to the equation and just say, well, if I want to figure out what the y-intercept is, I'll set the x-coordinate equal to 0, so that's -3 times 0, which is just 0, plus 9. 0 plus 9 is 9. That mathematically tells me what the graph told me, that the y-intercept is 9. If I want to figure out the x-intercept, well, I simply set the y equal to 0, and in this case, the f of x value is another name for y. So if I set that equal to 0, then I'll have 0 equals -3 x plus 9. This one takes a little bit more work to solve. You just take this 3x over to this side, so you got 3x equals to 9 and x is equal to 3. Because you divide both sides by 3. Shoots, brah! Up out! F of x, which is the same as y, is equal to 2x minus 12. Alright? Let's do this one. Ready? For the x-intercept, I'm just going to tell it to you, you got to write it down. For the x-intercept, the y value is always equal to 0. So f of x is equal to 0 is equal to y. So what you'll do is you'll set this thing equal to 0 and then solve for x. So you have 0 equals 2x minus 12. Solving for x is pretty straightforward. I'm going to add 12 to both sides. 12 equals 2x. X equals 6. Without even graphing this thing, I can tell you what the x-intercept is. Let's see. Yeah. The coordinates for the x-intercept is 6, 0. It's whatever the x-intercept is, comma, 0. Remember, if I need to give you a coordinate, you need to give me 2 points. You need to give me an x-coordinate and a y-coordinate. The x-coordinate, if it's the x-intercept, it's always the y-coordinate is 0. All right, let's do it for the y-intercept. The y-intercept has x is always equal to 0 because it's talking about the y-intercept. We covered this concept. So all you do is you say, all right, well, f of x is equal to, you just plug in x equal to 0 into the equation. So it's 2 times 0 minus 12. Oh, that's pretty simple. You don't even need to solve for anything. You got f of x, or actually f of 0, because we plugged in 0 for x. F of 0 is equal to negative 12. I don't know why I wrote it down twice. I've already up there, right? So if I want to give you the coordinates of this point, it would be 0, comma, negative 12. See, without even graphing this thing, I can tell you what the x-intercept is and the y-intercept. In fact, to be honest with you, when the equation is in this form, finding the y-intercept is very easy. All you do is kind of cover up that stuff that has x over there, and then it's basically negative 12. Because everything with x in it dies because x is equal to 0 for the y-intercept. Shoots, brah! Up out!